Prime Television, beaming live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. My name is Fon Quinter. The news starts now. Legendary footballer Samuel Eto'o is the newly elected president of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT. He was selected on Saturday, December 11, during the General Elective Assembly of FECAFOOT held in Yaoundé at Montfebe Hotel. Nsah completes the story.
After an outstanding football career, the former Indomitable Lions striker, an international with the best clubs in Europe, two-time African champion, and all-time top scorer of the same tournament, Samuel Eto'o has emerged winner of the 2021 FECAFOOT election, which took place at the Montfebe Hotel in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, on the 11th of December 2021. He defeated Seydou Bombo Joya, who has been heading FECAFOOT as interim president since December 12, 2018, 33 votes against 31. It is worth highlighting that, before the election, Samuel Eto'o had prepared a working program that he planned on applying if voted into office, a forecast that was realized. The football icon hopes to tackle the issue of governance, which has been the main problem of the Cameroon Football Federation for past years. His pioneer project will be thwarted towards stepping up the working conditions of workers and rendering a transparent handling of finances at the institution. And most importantly, among other issues, to focus on the development of football at all levels in the country. The new FECAFOOT leader is now ready for the challenge facing him. It is a new dawn for Cameroon football as the master of the game is now in command, and Eto'o's rival, Seydou Bombo Joya, who headed FECAFOOT for 3 years, affirms.
Je félicite mon adversaire pour sa victoire.
I congratulate my rival for his victory. I wish him a successful win, and I hope that it will be a new era for the Cameroonian football.
Pour le football camerounais.
Spokesperson for Samuel Eto'o during his presidential campaign, Ernest Obama, had this to say. This victory is very special because we are talking about a score of about 10 vote difference. Footballers have handed over football to a champion, to a savior. We say many thanks to the Cameroonian public who were behind the candidacy of Eto'o as one man.
Infiniment merci aux délégués, infiniment merci au peuple camerounais qui a été derrière comme un seul homme derrière le candidat Samuel Eto'o.
With Eto'o, yes, and reconciliation. If you are Eto'o, and you make next step, reconciliation, everything will be okay.
A new era has been born for the Cameroonians since Saturday, following Samuel Eto'o's new portfolio as president of FECAFOOT. Congratulatory messages have been streaming in on some social media platforms from dignitaries and celebrities, including football icons like Didier Drogba, Ronaldinho, Yaya Toure, Kofi Olomide, Davido, just to name but these.
In the Northwest region, the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Nsah, has inaugurated a 4-classroom block renovated at Government School Nsah. The renovated classroom falls in line with the civil military cooperation, as we hear in the following report. After being abandoned for close to 10 years, causing a huge challenge to functioning of schools, pupils of Nsah subdivision, Donga Mantun division of the Northwest region can now heave sighs of relief. This was after the commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, Brigadier General Nsah, officially inaugurated a 4-classroom block at Government School Nsah, a project which falls in line with the civil military cooperation. The renovated block at Government School Nsah has been described by the health teacher as a timely intervention, considering that the school had a serious influx of pupils from neighboring villages at the wake of the Anglophone crisis in 2016. According to the health teacher of the institution, the population rose to above 670 pupils, thus learning space became small. General Nsah equally met with traditional rulers who expressed their frustration with the road network leading to the subdivision, as about 25,000 francs is spent on transportation from Bamenda to Nsah.
To come to Nsah here, I was supposed to cut through this way. I passed through 2 subdivisions before reaching Nsah. So that is the most problem. The farm to market route, before our poor farmers to take food to the market is impossible.
The 3-day visit to Nsah subdivision ended with a peace unity march between Nsah and Sabongari, where over 1,000 people from both subdivisions came out to cheer the peace and unity football encounter. We stay in the northwest region, where the road to the Bamenda DDR Center, which was described by many as a nightmare, has been given a facelift. The rehabilitation works on the road was supervised by the coordinator of the center, Cum Henry H. Charles Kebwa reports from Bamenda.
The access road into the Bamenda Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Center, DDR, in the northwest has been given a new facelift, thanks to the director of the Northwest Development Authority, Midino, Cletus Anye Matoya, for assisting the Bamenda DDR Center with the machine that was used for the road rehabilitation works.
The work is already ongoing. I believe that I cannot give a time frame because it is my hierarchy that can give a time frame for the movement to the center. But what I can assure you is that what is keeping us here is the equipment of the center, and the national office is working on that.
The works carried out over the weekend in Bamenda, supervised by Cum Henry Echu, coordinator of DDR Northwest, he pointed out the road has been a nightmare and inaccessible, and he decided to work on the road so that the ex-fighters at the center and visitors could feel comfortable when making it into the center.
First thing is to make it accessible. Immediately after they do this, we are going to put laterite and tamper the road so that it should be long-lasting. You know that this center is not only going to be used now, it has to be used in the future. It was first of all a health center. And if it happens that we are to leave the place to go to our new center, we can still use this place as a collection point. So we have a long time to use these premises.
The rehabilitation works on the access road at a time many expect the center move to its newly constructed site at the Bamenda Airport area. The Northwest coordinator of DDR, Cum Henry Echu, said,
we also have the assistance of the director of Mideno, Comrade Matoya, who has also given us a lot of things at very reduced cost. He has made us not be able to hire the machines. He has given us the machines for free, and we have only fueled the machines and the lubricants and all of that, and taking care of the workers. So I think that he has contributed very enormously to the realization of this project, because he himself saw that it was necessary for this center to have a good access road.
The Northwest coordinator of DDR has fought appeal to the people of the Northwest region and Cameroon to understand the DDR is a peace-building mechanism government has put in place and needs all on board to be part of the DDR for peace.
Bamenda 2 Council Mayor Chenwi Peter has donated rice to motorcycle riders within his area of jurisdiction, appreciating them for their maturity and services they render the population. The donation took place over the weekend, as Northwest correspondent Charles Kebwa tells us.
After Bamenda 2 Council Mayor Chenwi Peter promised bike riders for showing maturity stroke exemplary after the killing of young Tato Brandy by a policeman at the Nkwen Bamenda 3 neighborhood, where they expressed their grievances with no violence, Bamenda 2 Council Mayor Chenwi Peter, December 10, 2021, invited the bike riders in the Bamenda 2 municipality as they constitute a strong force in the economy, distributed rice to them for Christmas.
5 bikes, but they said no, this Xmas period, not celebrate Xmas. Together, I hear about 150 bags of rice to the rider. By January, I'm going to do a tombola that they will come, to register, they will show their driver license, their ID card, and then they will qualify, they will be eligible to play the tombola, which is 5 motorbike, and the car's going to put at this guys.
With Premium Finance Limited to sponsor a tombola for 5 bikes to be won next year in partnership with the Bamenda 2 Council, the mayor, Cedrick Peter, while thanked the bike riders for the services they rendered to the people of his municipality, also called for collaboration and peace, given his council has recognized them, assuring the bike guys, those not legally married, to use the Bamenda 2 Council and their marriages be solemnized for free. Mayor Cedrick Peter promised the Bamenda 2 Council will establish identity cards and driver's licenses to some 100 bike riders in his municipality who belong to the Bike Riders Union.
Their bike have been seized by the police and the rest. So in the course of the investigation, I realized they don't have documents. And they're not willing to do documents. So I want to come in. It's a peace-building process to assist these guys to have ID cards, to have a license, so that they cannot have conflict with the police. You know, we want to live in synergy, and the only way I can come into put in my own effort as the mayor in the municipality is to assist these guys to collaborate as a team, so that they can have their document and to avoid conflict with the policemen.
In appreciation on behalf of the bikers, their union president shared emotions that the mayor has recognized them.
And if by a liberal or liberator they say, someone who looks ahead and not behind, someone who cares about the welfare of people, someone who welcomes new ideas without any reaction, someone who cares about the welfare of people, their health, school, housing, job, civil rights, and civil liberties. I'm proud to say that Mr. Cedrick Peter, the mayor of Bamenda, is one of those.
The mayor stroke council assistance to the bike riders, it should be noted, comes after Bamenda 2 Council support in education, health, and others, meeting with quarter heads, putting up platforms to communicate with them, enhance development within the municipality.
Inhabitants of Ngaoundéré, capital city of the Adamawa region, have begun facing the impacts of the dry season characterized by bad roads and dust. They say the problem of bad roads and dust is as a result of government's neglect of the city, as Catherine Ekongwe tells us.
The road to AFCON 2021 is narrowing down. Top on government's priority is the maintenance and rehabilitation of most hosting cities of the Games, a situation that has begun causing chaos around the country, as many inhabitants of cities not shortlisted to host the upcoming Games have begun expressing disgruntlement of urban development. This is Ngaoundéré, chief town of the Adamawa region. Talking with some denizens, bad roads are still a major problems of the people.
You cannot even sit close to the road and eat. There's too much dust. You cannot even... Now like this in Ngaoundéré, where you even wear your white clothes, you cannot even walk from here to 200 meters away from where you come from. There's dust everywhere. So we are suffering. Nothing is going good here in Ngaoundéré because of this dust. So we are even afraid to come out because we are afraid of dust.
As revealed by the troubled civilians, since after the colonial era, not so much has been done in terms of infrastructural development, thus the height of neglect. All is not well because we have so many problems here. There is so much dust on the roads. We are calling on the government to come to our aid. But what can be done to commemorate the situation? Should government give them a listening ear?
I have a proposal to make to the government about the routes we have here in Adamawa. We have bad roads, we need it to be big. We have dust that have been giving sickness to all youths in Ngaoundéré, and we are pleading to God for the government to try to do something about it to fix the roads. We have cracking roads, we have dust everywhere.
As of now, the media remains the only means through which the people's voices can be heard, as they anxiously wait on government to see into their plights.
Now, the association Maras Bantu, dubbed Maraba, has called on people of Bantu origin to regain their identity away from Western culture. The call was made during a press conference yesterday in Douala. Joy Ngong attended the press conference and now reports.
Bantu, Bantu, wake up. The time has come. This is the declaration that was made during the press conference centered on the regeneration and rehabilitation of the Bantu people. Marab's Bantu Association, dubbed Maraba, called on the Bantu race to be themselves, regenerate and renew lost natural abilities, as it is time to take back their identity from foreign races.
The first thing is to come back in ourselves. Let us get a name. When we have a name, we will not get those type of tribalism wars that we have. The war in Bamenda, Nozo. We will not have the war that's passing in the Northwest province. We will not have that division in between us. A Bamenda man will feel that it's in Yaoundé. And a Yaoundé man will feel that it's already in Douala. But now everybody is afraid. What? The black man is afraid for what? A Bantu man is afraid for what? Because he don't have his identity.
Beginning with the return of foreign names, the Bantu were equally called upon to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, thereby fully erasing slavery and other ills that have reduced the Bantu identity.
I cannot have an identity that is called Kum Francis K, because I will never dream to be in France. This is my hometown in Bantu land. I will never go to France to live in France. Why can you call me Francis? So I need to have my identity. I'm begging the government to give my identity. My name is Kum K, not Kum Francis K. My real identity is Kum K, not Kum Francis K.
The goal of Maraba is to reinforce a Bantu race where the people can freely express their full potentials.
It's not a question of traditional name, it's a question of identity. We have an identity. Francis is not an identity. Are you okay with me that Francis is not an identity? Francis is not an identity. So give my identity so that I will be happy to be in my land. And I am sure that a man without identity is a man that, one, he don't have a land. All what is from the land is from Francis, not from Kum.
This is only phase 1 of the Maraba project. Marab's Bantu hopes to work with the support of the government in order to reach out eventually to all 10 regions of the country.
Over 70 internally displaced persons now residing in Kumba, southwest region of Cameroon, have benefited from the benevolence of non-profit Fon Quinter Foundation. The beneficiaries expressed more of their plight during the donation, as Nolinga tells us.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
It is the Christmas season, a time for reconciliation, also characterized with the sharing of gifts in love. That's why, as part of her objective, the non-profit Fon Quinter Foundation, through its Relief and Hope project initiated by the founder, Dr. Fon Quinter Christopher, has begun putting lasting smiles on the faces of the vulnerables, notably these internally displaced persons now residing in Kumba, affected by the ongoing Anglophone crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of the country.
This time around, we had 2 partners who were very instrumental in the success of our event. And we really want to say thanks to every one of them. Thanks a lot.
The exercise, which is in its second phase in Kumba, has recorded a total of 70 internally displaced persons receiving items such as bags of rice, salt, seasoning cubes, washing soap, and lots more. And just like during the first edition, which registered a total of over 100 beneficiaries, these gifts are intended to support the beneficiaries for the time being.
This time around, the same team will don't give them again out for another set of IDPs. And we really want to say thanks to Dr. Christopher Fon Quinter and he partners them for this wonderful thing where they don't do for the people for Kumba.
While receiving the items, the beneficiaries, overwhelmed with joy, have not failed in appreciating their donors and at the same time expressing some of the challenges they face on a daily basis.
Better me a chop this one to get it. Then say, they don't give me thing a chop. They don't give me thing a chop. My skin they don't give me thing a chop. My brother don't give me thing a chop. All my don't give for this anything. Me I be alive to more time before I go there. Help the family, continue for the help us with to be less privileged for this guys. You don't know how the guys then they will end. They got continue for the help the money.
so that it will help others and everybody, and I'll be very happy.
The gifts, which have been donated with the aim of sustaining their various households throughout this festive period, is also serving as a reminder to stakeholders to act promptly in meeting the needs of the vulnerables.
World Choral Music Day is set aside to recognize and applaud the impact of choral music in society. Bokengo Wadi visited some choral groups in Douala and brought back the following.
Cameroon is home to more than 100 choral groups, with some of the most prominent being the University of Yaoundé one, known as the Glorious Voices, the University of Boye Choir, Celestial Echoes, UB, Praise Singers, Holy Trinity Choir, Cameroon Afro Gospel Choir, Congregational Youth Choir, Queen of All Hearts Choir, The Voice of Power, and many more. These dynamic groups of persons every second Sunday of December yearly are being celebrated for the impact they create in the society.
This day being recognized is so that you see yourself as someone who is helpful to the society, not just to the church or to yourself, but you have a role to play to the society. Music is very important to mankind. It helps you to reduce your stress or to relieve you from stress. It helps you to develop your brain. It helps, just as it helps you, it helps the society generally in all of the ways music helps us. It influences the society when people use the wrong languages or the wrong information. Music comes to correct those informations and to give the society what is to be consumed.
Worthy of note is the fact that choral music is much more than blended voices and awesome reverb.
Music is powerful. The Bible says when you sing, you pray twice. And music brings joy to the soul.
Singing, choral music will help to reduce anxiety, that group pressure that the youth always have. You see, we have programmed ourselves that on Saturdays, as from 6 o'clock, we'll have a choir practice. By so doing, if a youth is involved in our choir, in our choral music, what he'll prepare to come for the choral music rather than following his friends to go maybe be involved in drugs, in drinking, which is not good for the society.
For most choristers, being a part of the choir goes way beyond the bond, singing, togetherness, and feel very elated to be celebrated worldwide.
I feel so excited, I feel so elevated for the fact that singing is a passion to me. A passion, and the little things I do is being recognized internationally, and I am happy and excited.
I'm so happy, extremely happy to be celebrated worldwide, that people will hear my voice, people will see me sing. I'm so grateful.
True words have not been spoken regarding choral singing and the upliftment of spirit and soul, shaping youth and society, bringing one closer to God, as well as helping persons memorizing Bible verses through songs of praise and worship.
And those out of the country, our reporter Nora Kakebi visited South Africa, Angola and Congo. She brought back the following striking headlines.
In touring the African continent, a brief stop in South Africa reveals the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is receiving treatment for mild COVID-19 symptoms after testing positive on Sunday. He has delegated all responsibilities to Deputy President David Mabuza for next week. According to reports, the South African President started feeling unwell after leaving the State Memorial Service in honor of former Deputy President F.W. de Klerk. President Ramaphosa said his infection serves as a caution to all the people living in South Africa to be vaccinated and remain vigilant against exposure. A statement from his office stated that vaccination remains the best protection against a severe illness and hospitalization. Meanwhile, a French court of appeal in Versailles has announced today, Monday, December 13th, the decision on the case involving Congolese Rumba star Koffi Olomide. The artist, who is based in France, is on trial for sexually assaulting and kidnapping 4 of his former dancers while touring the country. It should be noted that the decision by the appeal court is the result of an appeal from a court decision dated back to 2019 and challenged by the victims. According to a social worker, Kofi Olomide takes advantage of the weakness of some women. Therefore, a firm decision must be taken to condemn him and also prevent him from returning to Congo. The star, who appeared at the appeal court, rejected all accusations against him. And in Angola, the National Union of Angolan Doctors planned to continue its nationwide strike, which was initially planned for December 6th to the 10th. The labor action, which is now an indefinite strike, is simply demanding improved working conditions and payment of subsidies. The strike follows failed negotiations between the union and the Ministry of Health. Approximately 2,000 doctors are participating in the strike. The National Union of Angolan Doctors have stated that a minimum of service will be provided at emergency rooms, though infirmary activities and outpatient consultations will be suspended. Security forces have been deployed to monitor the protests.
Naraka KB is reporting today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime Television. My name is Fon Quinter. Coming up next is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. Have a great evening. Good night.
Like what we are observing with our MPs today, people think that an MP's role is to come and do micro project grants, not knowing that what is expected of them is to make